Some people have Trump derangement syndrome that is so absolutely severe that in a pickup truck, they try to run down two 14-year-old twin boys because they were waving Trump flags. It's getting so insane, man. From what I talked about earlier on my main channel, with these fringe psychotic conspiracy theories and these overt acts of criminal acts and violence, I'm just wondering when it's all going to end. And when we can finally kick back, have a slice of pizza and just say, chill out. Man, I sometimes take the Obama era. I've taken it for granted that although he did a lot of bad things, it's nowhere near the level of derangement from these people. And this is what scares me. As much as no one wants to admit it, some people do. The violence really does work, and it's horrifying, and they know it. But it's no way to live. The analogy I often give as to why these big social media companies bend over backwards for the anti-fascist, the woke far left crazy people is because they know people like me, people like Sargon of Akkad, we're never going to lead our fans to their headquarters in anger and protest. And so they ignore us. They tell us to go shove off. They got nothing to worry about. But they know that the far left lunatics and these people with Trump derangement syndrome will run them off the road. So they bend over backwards. They're scared. Let's read this story. And I got another one, man. GOP office in Milwaukee was vandalized. This stuff, I'm just so tired, you know? Daily Mail reports Indiana couple in a pickup truck ran 14-year-old twin boys riding their bikes off the road because they were waving Trump flags. Police in Indiana have accused a couple of deliberately forcing two teenage boys off the road because they had the flags on their bikes. Hobart cops say video found on Snapchat ended up helping officers identify and charge those allegedly responsible. 23-year-old Kyron Gregory Perry Jones and 18-year-old Kaylin Marie Smith have been charged in connection with the incident, which happened in July. The couple who were driving the car are said to have run the 14-year-old teenage twin boys off the road after making threats towards them. The boys told police that the vehicle had come up to them when the male driver asked one of the boys if they were Trump supporters, to which he confirmed they were. They're 14, dude. If they're Trump supporters, it's because their parents did it or they saw memes. They don't exactly even know. Give kids a break. The driver then swerved at the boys, forcing them onto the grass at the side of the road to avoid being struck. The driver is then alleged to have followed the boys before getting out of the car and ripping off the flag from one of the brothers' bikes. After dropping it on the ground, the driver then ran back to his car and drove away, but not before running the flag over, according to an affidavit seen by Fox 10. Perry Jones and Smith have both been charged with felony counts of intimidation and criminal recklessness, felonies that could lend them time in prison if convicted. Now, I will ask, I'm curious as to why the passenger, the woman, is being charged as well, but perhaps in the video, she was yelling and threatening as well. They say they were also charged with one count each of theft and criminal mischief, both misdemeanors. Although the incident happened in July, the charges were only brought now after a delay in obtaining the videos and other related information to the case from Snapchat. The videos allegedly shot by the couple show their encounter with the boys. Well, there you go. Listen, these people who film their crimes deserve to go to jail more than any other criminal. And when someone commits a crime and they do it smart, they're trying to get away with it, it's like sometimes you can respect the art. It's horrifying, but at least some people think about what they're doing. These people ran kids off a road, filming themselves doing it, posting it. Are you nuts? Yes, the answer is yes. The driver turns the wheel sharply, as if he saw the boys and wanted to hit them with the vehicle while yelling, "Y'all better get home." A man's voice can then be heard instructing the woman passenger in the car to pull the flag down before video shows her trying to reach for it through her window before telling the male driver to move closer. So that's why she got charged. The female is then heard saying, "Y'all scared just like your president, and America is not great," accompanied by some swearing. A second Snapchat video sees Perry Jones allegedly saying, "Don't let me see you downtown," to one of the boys with a threat to beat him up if he does. You're going to threaten 14-year-olds, dude? Grow up, man. Perry Jones also allegedly threatened to beat the boys up for calling 911. Man, felony charges. Well, they deserve it. In the video, Perry Jones also said that if police questioned him about it, he would just say the boys called him a racial slur. Oh, and you get the hoax hate crime. It's dropped right on top. Wow. This is a twofer. We got a trifecta here. We got a hat trick. We got hoax, hate crime. We got violence and threats against children. And we got a Milwaukee GOP office vandalized with graffiti. TDS, serious mental derangement. It's Trump anxiety disorder, they call it, TAD, but colloquially known as Trump derangement syndrome. I'm loving that this guy ended his violence against these kids with, I'll just say you called me a slur. Wow. How many times do you think it's actually happened that someone accused a Trump supporter and we don't have the evidence? I bet it has. Here's the story from NBC Milwaukee. Now, this stuff, it's got to stop, man. But it's not gonna. It's going to get worse. Milwaukee police are looking for the people responsible for vandalizing the Republican Party office downtown. It opened nearly 2 weeks ago at Martin Luther King Jr. Drive and North Avenue. African-American outreach director for the Republican Party of Wisconsin, Kenzer Senat, came across the vandalism at his workplace Wednesday morning. Black and white paint was scribbled across the windows, and the word scum was tagged in the back door. Not happy about vandalism, plain and simple, Senat said. I want this office to be a place that individuals can come in and we can have civil dialogue. Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the graffiti. The office is the first for the Republican Party in Milwaukee in recent memory, which meant a lot to Chairman Andrew Hitt. I don't know who did this. I think it probably has a lot to do with politics. Well, of course, they wrote scum on a GOP office door. What do you think happened? Hitt said it causes him concern when the Democratic National Convention comes to town. We've seen sort of this increased intolerance of the left, a freedom of ideas to talk about what we believe in, Hitt said. We can see on the door it says scum. A spokesperson for the Democratic Party of Wisconsin released the following statement on the graffiti. Unlike the Republican Party, we unequivocally condemn actions like this regardless of who is targeted. So funny. Did you condemn any of these other attacks? Oh, come on. They don't. That's a lie. And I'm offended. I am triggered by your lie. Hitt and Senate said they're not worried about security at the office and feel they picked the right location to spread their views. We're not going to be going anywhere. We're looking to engage the community and engage, with urban voters to push our message across. Do you know what's going to happen in Milwaukee? I think, what did they say in July? The Democratic National Convention. The Democratic National Convention. And you know what they do there? They're going to steal the nomination from Bernie Sanders. That's what they do there. It's what they did last time. That's what they'll do again. And you are going to have all of the delegates from all the different states sitting around, and there's not going to be enough pledged delegates for Bernie Sanders, even though he has the popular vote. It's going to result in a bunch of crazy Antifa far lefties rampaging through Milwaukee. Mark my words. Okay, I don't think I know everything. Maybe my prediction will be wrong. But I remember the political conventions in 2016, and you may have seen, you may remember this as well. First, at the RNC, went off without a hitch. Kind of boring, actually. Walked around, not too much going on. The Democratic National Convention, I was actually on the floor when they gave it to Hillary Clinton. Historical moment. The first time a woman received a nomination for a major political party. Now, women have been nominated for political parties before, but this is the Democrats, right? There were thousands of people protesting, trying to tear down the barricades and jump the fence into the DNC. These protests were angry, and they weren't angry with Trump or the Republicans. They were angry with the Democrats because Hillary Clinton stole it from Bernie. What do you think's going to happen? The theft against Bernie was slow back then, right? It was kind of like you didn't know exactly what was going to happen, but Bernie ran and he started losing and Hillary started winning. But now we're seeing a whole bunch of tomfoolery with these primaries and these caucuses. Today is the Nevada caucus. We'll see what happens. I'm going to go chill out, maybe order some pizza, play some board games, and watch and see the results pour in. I'm fully expecting some shenanigans. I mean, maybe by the time you've watched this video, it's all over and the shenanigans have already happened, or maybe they didn't. But here's what I love. I'm saying this somewhat facetiously. Why would Antifa, what's the best reason for Antifa on the far left to riot this year? Donald Trump's reelection? Nah, maybe. They rioted when Trump got inaugurated it was 2017, January 20th. But when they steal this nomination from Bernie Sanders, which I fully expect them to do, how much you want to bet you are going to see the biggest Antifa insanity in Milwaukee ever seen before? I'd be willing to bet, man. It's going to be historic. Milwaukee 2020 will be remembered. They talk about, the cops back in 68 or whatever, things like that. WTO 2004, Minneapolis or whatever those dates were. 2020 in Milwaukee, it's going to go down. They're going to call it the mayhem in Milwaukee. They'll give it some alliterative name. But you're going to see Antifa smashing windows, spray painting, throwing rocks, lighting fires. The best thing the Democrats could do is if Bernie gets the popular vote and the convention is contested, it stands to reason they should vote for Bernie. I mean, why give it to anybody else? Bloomberg's already been plotting his strategy to steal it from Bernie Sanders. And that's going to happen. A billionaire is going to buy the nomination to oust the populist. You're going to see some bricks flying, man. And I'll tell you what, I'm a very, very anti-violence person, anti-vandalism person. But as much as I can condemn violence, say it's the wrong thing, sometimes you just understand a little bit. So I'll put it this way, because I've said this before. When it comes to punching people in the face because they got nasty opinions, boy, do I sympathize with your desire to do so, but you don't cross that line. We take control of our emotions, all right? We don't do that. As much as, boy, do you really want to sometimes, because we have to maintain that barrier. But I'll tell you what, when Antifa shows up and goes nuts on the DNC, I'm gonna begrudgingly laugh. As much as I don't like that they're gonna do it, and I think they should be stopped. I'm telling you right now, DNC, you're gonna steal this election from Bernie Sanders, and I completely understand why there is going to be a war in the DNC. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if the people in the convention go nuts. I'm talking like brawling on the floor of the DNC. It's going to be insane. You're not going to see Bernie Sanders supporter going, looks like we lost this one, because last time Bernie Sanders actually didn't get the delegate count. Super delegates voted for Hillary, pushed her over the edge, but she was winning. Now, I know, Nevada, there's a lot going on. I'll keep this one short. But what do you think is going to happen when Bernie actually wins the popular vote in the Democratic primaries? Is it that it goes to the DNC, then they go, well, we're contested, so we're going to round 2, and the super delegates step up and go, Mike Bloomberg. Nah, that's going to be nuts. And you know what? I got to say it. I condemn and denounce all the violence, but at a certain point, man, it's coming, because you guys, the cronies, these people are evil. Stick around. I got one more segment coming up in a few minutes, and I will see you all shortly.